Welcome, guys. Now, you might be wondering what we are doing in this little video, and it's pretty simple. We are going to be moving some of our stuff into a 2D space because a lot of people like 2D, and I wanted to make our project a little bit more 2D-ish without suffering from just basically a problem with, how can we say, which world direction it's in. Now, as you can see, this looks like it's in 2D space and stuff, and it is. It actually legitimately is 2D. But if you notice, we got this plane here, and it looks a little like this other plane down here. And you would be right. Now, the reason for this is because the newer version, the navigation that they are working on, only works with 3D objects. Okay? Basically, anything that has a mesh renderer, which is a mesh collider, and, 3D stuff. Okay? The problem with it is, if you know anything about Unity's navigation, down here in the quad, we have the problem with the old navigation. We'll open it. We can take this. We can not move it or anything. It goes all silly goose, right? I mean, we literally can't do anything with this because, oh, and it won't show navigation if I'm in that. That's kind of poopy. Okay, so this sucks, right? Well, the newer navigation, if you were paying attention to the newer videos coming from Unity, will allow you to do rotation and movement because it works off of the surface area. There's only one little gotcha to that. And the gotcha for this is you cannot use a quad in the newer navigation. And I think it's because, due to how the quad works, let's not show navigation, and let's go into wireframe. Okay? Shaded wireframe. You see how these vertices and stuff, this little line right here, it's probably hard to see in the video. Let's max them on. Okay. You got a line here, 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 and so on. All the way around and one through there. Well, a plane has all these. And, well, the deal is the navigation uses these little segments here, which are called vertices and polygons, each polygon right here and here. And it's basically like an index. And if you notice when we were looking at the quad, why doesn't it zoom like it? It pretty much duplicates a big old bunch of these segments, the same as the plane, right? Except we don't got that line that goes through all of them. Okay, and I think the newer navigation uses those so that we can generate a mesh and things and use those as references. Well, the newer stuff that they're putting out that's on GitHub right now that's still kind of batty uses the vertices to generate the nav mesh. Basically, it just duplicates what's already there, cuts out what needs to be gone, and there you go. Ugh. Doesn't want to cooperate. So we're going to have to use a plane to use the navigation. They don't have support for sprites yet. So is this a really big impact? Not really. I mean, it's a single plane. Okay, if you actually look through and you see with this quad here, we're only going like 2K of triangles and 6K vertices. Granted, it's probably a little bit more, but you're not going to be past 10 triangles or anything like that. So, do we really need to worry about it? Not really. I mean, come on. You're probably not going to have 20K. A mobile device can probably withstand 20K of triangles and like 30K vertices. I mean, it's literally practically nothing. And you might be like, well, why is this important? Well, one of the reasons why this is important is because if you look at this, we still have, we'll do pure wireframe. This is what's generated as a sprite. I mean, it looks kind of rough a little bit, but each one of these is segments, got vertices and things, which, you know, to each its own, maybe an issue. So you gotta really go for what's your game like? What's it do? Now look at what this one's like, okay? Which is the 3D version of it. There we go. Okay, you got probably 2 here, 2 here. Actually, we can actually see how many of these got. Okay, the body, if you're looking at the mesh part of it, we'll tell you, it is 100 vertices, 800, I would say 880 vertices, and then 560 triangles. Okay, just round it up, you know, something like that. All right, so this has got 800 some and 500 some, right? Well, now you look at this one, it doesn't really tell you, but you could clearly come to the conclusion that it's a lot less. I mean, sprites still carry vertices, don't get me wrong, but it's not as heavy as the actual mesh. That's one reason why you can generate like 1,000 some sprites, but if you tried to generate 1,000 some, you know, game objects, then you might have an issue, right? Especially if they all move. Moving 1,000 some sprites, I don't think would be very, like, performance heavy at all. And, you know, rendering by itself would be a lot less, because it's just basically a picture. All right, it doesn't have the mesh information like it used to. All right, so that is kind of the benefit. Now you're probably thinking, well, or how is our turret code going to be changing because of this? And the answer is not very much. Our turret code is based on local vectors anyway. So if we're taking game objects like this, and we add another component in here, maybe an empty, okay? This is pure 0. This is pure 0. So if this is going this way, to point at something on the z-axis, because remember, it does a look at. It directly looks at what it's doing and then interpolates. So even if it's looking at, the same direction is going to be going. Okay? Because our turret head is based off this vector right here. Or is that right? We may have to invert it, but it's not going to be that hard of a work to get it running. Okay? It really isn't. I am very, very confident we're not going to have to do some brain surgery on our code to get this to work. And I think I was even testing this, and it was pretty simple. Yeah, it actually is. Now you're probably thinking, well, if he's supposed to have the same positional stuff, 0, 0, and things like that, when we look at it through our game world and stuff, we want it to be completely flat. But there is a sorting thing to this, okay? And sorting layers are very, very good. Remember when we were in our FPS and we would have to use a different camera in order for it to go from one layer to the next? Well, we don't have to do that here. All we have to do is set our sorting layer to where it should be. Now, I put the body at 0, okay? Now, the head, I put to 1, okay? You can do this enum, additional sorting layers and stuff, but I just found it easy just to use the number system. Much more easier for me to worry about than some other silly thing. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what about the colliders and stuff that we had? Very, very simple. All we have to do is just put a collider. That's it. We may have to work with the 2D system colliders or the 3D. It really doesn't matter which one. I could have a box collider still. Box collider, trigger, boom, done. Because the box collider doesn't care about the overall orientation or any of that other stuff. Okay, it doesn't care. It just wants to know, is there a collision and stuff. Now we could still have the y-axis pretty solid here, and the z-axis is the one that I would bump up and then have it off the center on the z part. There you go. And you basically just flip the tower that you had before just over. It's not that difficult. Not that difficult at all. So in later episodes, we are going to be going over how to transfer all of our stuff that we've been doing lately in the 3D version of this, and we're going to be moving it over to the 2D so that we can do cool stuff like, shoot tanks that are 2D, but not have that silly mesh thing going on. Now, the sprite that I made is pretty much off of a Photoshop image. It's really actually quite easy. You just put some turret things and everything. I mean, it's not that difficult. So I didn't think that anybody would have a problem with, trying to find a way to make 2D stuff. It's pretty simple. You take your body, okay? The body that you have, draw it. Alright? And then you draw, you draw the body, you draw the head. They both have to be different things, okay? And then all you have to do after you draw it is drag it into the bar from wherever your pictures are coming from and drag it straight into Unity, right into this little window. If you have this up, it won't work. If you put it right here, have something like this open, make sure it's not like one of these, okay, because then it won't work. put it in a folder, okay? Not editor folder or something silly like that. It has to be a folder that Unity can recognize and stuff, okay? And you just put it to Sprite 2D or UI, okay? And you set your settings accordingly, so you get something like this, okay? I'm going to put this on clamp, and I'll have to set these up a little bit. 2.5, okay? Because we're going to be looking at these from like a distance, like something like this, right? So the idea of them being super close is idiotic, and super detailed is kind of dumb. You can make these really poopy looking close up, but at far away, you know, it looks really good. So close up looks like some generic like Nintendo game logo, right? That was in the 16-bit days. But if you're away like this, and then you just, you know, have several of these, then it looks actually quite decent. Okay? Now I know this isn't a most exciting video, and I apologize for that, but you guys need to be introduced into the 2D stuff a little bit. Not everybody works in 2D. I don't. All my stuff's 3D, I'm not going to lie. So this is going to be a learning experience for me and you both. Okay? So, in the meantime, I'm going to, the next video is probably going to be over the navigation and maybe transferring our shoot logic, you know, the shooting stuff, to do the pointy stuff, you know. And that's probably going to be about it. So, yeah, and after you do this, make sure you know, do your prefab thing, because we are going to be working on this for a while, and it's all going to be nice. So, I'm going to let you guys go, and thanks for watching, and, you know, like, hit subscribe, and thanks for your patience, and peace out, guys. And make sure that you do like and hit subscribe, because if you don't, you're gonna miss the updates, and moving forward, you know, make sure you don't miss stuff. So thanks, guys, and peace out.